Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, traders. This is your weekly recap. It's the week ending first week of September, week ending 5th of September. We're looking at a weekly Australian all odds chart at the moment, and we can see this is what happened last week. We see the market opened and total resistance at our proprietary moving average, and then got slammed to the downside. So you can see overall it was a pretty much big down week overall. A big down week. If we go have a look at the daily chart, we can see exactly what actually happened. As you can see, the market came up to the proprietary moving average, popped above it a little bit, but ultimately got resistance around that level there, and then got slammed to the downside. See, once, twice, and three times, huge to the downside. So big sells here on the Australian market. So if we go have a look at the US market, that might give us a bit of a lead. What's likely to happen maybe in the next week? So let's go check out the Dow Jones. So this is the Dow Jones chart. The Dow Jones chart we're looking at now, and this is the daily chart. Let's go look at the weekly chart first and get a good gauge where we are. Once again, we can see from the last video I said that we're going to have a lot of resistance around the proprietary moving average. You can see once again it actually did. It opened, it ran up, it actually hit it, and then actually ran down and closed lower. If we have a look at that, that is actually overall still showing that, look at this. Look what it's just formed here. This is now the lower, still forming lower peaks, lower troughs. So therefore the seller's in control. So therefore the buyers haven't said they like to take control. So therefore we still have to accept that we are in a still bearish market, okay? And therefore do not fall in love with the upside yet. Let's go look at the daily chart and let's see what actually happened here. Alright, so when I say don't fall in love with the upside yet, it doesn't mean we can't, as a short-term trader as we are in the trading room, doesn't mean we can't take advantage of short-term pops. Overall, where we are bearish, but short term we're gonna take the overall short term, whether it's up or down. Okay, so it doesn't mean if we take a long signal, doesn't mean we're falling in love with the upside. We're just keeping a big picture in our mind of what the overall market's doing. The overall market is very bearish at the moment. Okay, so that being said, looking at the US market does look like it's going to get at least a couple of day pop, an early run. In the early session of this week coming, the week starting of 8th through to the 12th of August, it does look like the early part of the week does look like we're going to try and get a bit of a run to the upside. Let me show you the reason why. Right now we have a very powerful pattern forming here. Down the bottom here, you can see it actually resists at our proprietary moving average. As I mentioned in the last video, if you've been watching me, I said in the last video that if we don't break above here, we're likely to get some downside. It failed to break above there, and that's exactly what happened. Now, let's look at what's happening right now. We can see that if we have a look from this little support here, this little support over here, notice it came down, but ultimately the buyers brought it back up and then closed higher. Okay, they closed high there. If I open my chart up a bit more, you can see here they actually closed higher on the daily chart. That is showing me a lot of strength short term from the overall buyers. Short term from the buyers. We had a big crackdown from the sellers. The Australian market had a lot more of a downside action than the US market. But right now we can see that the US market is likely, to me, from this powerful pattern at this nice support level and all the indicators going in the right direction. There's a lot of the indicators are starting to turn. I do say we're likely to get a bit of a pop, at least a bit of a short-term pop to the upside, and then we'll see what happens as the week progressed. And that's exactly what we do in the trading room. We analyze each and every day, and then we go from there. We say, okay, what's likely to happen tomorrow based on this situation here. Okay, very important to understand. Okay, so we're likely to get a bit of pop in the Dow Jones. Let's go check out what the S&P market has done. And the S&P market has done the exact same thing. We're looking at the daily chart now. And the daily chart is showing the exact same thing. You look at this support level through here. Okay, huge support level. Bounce once, bounce twice, and also open, high, and low and close here. So what we're looking at here, we're looking at a major support level again. And if you look at the actual pattern itself, the pattern is actually telling you a story here. The market's telling you a story, but also if you read the day can give you a powerful story as well. The day is telling me right now that it opened, the sellers brought it right down during last Friday, Friday the 5th of August, sorry, 5th of September. It brought it right back up and then closed higher. That's showing a lot of buying activity, in there. So therefore, I would say we're due to have at least a bit of a rally for the short term. And after the short term, we'll go from there as well. So we are in an overall sideways market because the market is just overall sideways. If we have a look, we are still range bound from here and probably down through here as well. Probably something like through there. Okay, so we are overall sideways on our market. We had a bit of a short-term rally to the upside, as I spotted out on our last video through there. You can see that what actually happened here, this support became nice resistance at this level of resistance through here, and that's where I said in the last video, if we fail to break above that, we're likely to go down. If we do break above that, we'll likely have a bit of pop to the upside. It hasn't happened yet, therefore we've had a bit of a downside action. The sellers have come in and taken a bit more control there. Okay, so right now we are a bit of a sideways. We do expect a bit of a pop during the week, but right now it's a bit of a hard one to call to see what the overall week's going to do. But I'd say short term, the first couple of days we should get a bit of pop, at least for a bit of a, if we don't get a decent pop for Monday. But the rest of the week we'll play it out there, and especially if you want to check out how we do it every single day and how we analyze market every day, come out and check us out in the trading room. You will not regret it. If we have a look at the weekly chart now, I'm just going to delete all these lines here, and if you go look at the weekly chart now, we can see one thing on the weekly chart. Look at this here. If we draw a line from here through to here, you can see this over here, this sort of support here. Okay, this sort of support. Look how strong that resistance was. At once, let me just delete this here. I want to show you something here. Once, twice, 3, 4 weeks. This is weekly bars here, okay? This is what happened on the weekly bar. 4 weeks, and then the fifth, and this week here, cracked to the downside. The buyers could no longer push it up overall on the weekly chart. So that's showing me a lot of selling pressure here, But I do expect a bit of short-term buying, and then the week will play out from there. The overall market is still bearish, so please do not fall in love with this upside yet. Make sure you're doing your own homework. Make sure you come out and check us out in the trading room. You will not regret it. Alright, this is the end of the weekly recap. Once again, I do believe that we're going to get a bit of short-term pop to the upside, just a short term, and then from there on, we'll do what we do in the trading room every day, and we'll analyze it and see where it's likely to go from what the market's telling us at that particular time. So, please enjoy your weekend. Please have a fantastic next week. Make sure you keep yourself safe and make sure you keep your high probabilities on your name. And just one thing before I go, just because the market is falling doesn't mean you can't make money. Okay, let me say that again. Just because the market is falling, it doesn't mean you can't make money. In fact, we made 2 fantastic profitable trades, and the market dropped. Okay, the market dropped Friday, and we're on 2 nice trades. Go check them out. It was OZL and BSL. They both dropped, and we were short on those. Therefore, we wanted to profit from the market going down. We actually picked that in the trading room, and the traders in the trading room benefited from that, and they made a really nice profit from that. So, check us out in the trading room because I know you won't regret it, and therefore you can experience the benefits of actually profiting from the downside, also from the upside. So just because the market is going down doesn't mean you can't make money. Okay, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your next week, keep yourself safe, and until next time, bye for now.